The afternoon sun hung low over the quiet coastal highway, casting long shadows across the asphalt as Commander Daniel Reyes drove steadily, his posture relaxed, but his mind far from calm. Years in the Navy had trained him to remain composed in any situation, yet something about this day felt different, like the air itself carried tension. His decorated uniform jacket lay folded neatly in the passenger seat, metals glinting faintly in the sunlight, a testament to a career built on sacrifice, discipline, and honor. He had just returned from a classified assignment, one that had required every ounce of his experience, and now all he wanted was a quiet drive home. But fate had other plans. Behind him, flashing red and blue lights suddenly pierced the calm, reflecting sharply in his rearview mirror. Daniel frowned slightly, signaling calmly before pulling over to the shoulder. He had done nothing wrong. His speed was well within the limit, but he knew better than to question authority prematurely. As he placed both hands visibly on the steering wheel, he noticed the patrol car door slam shut with unnecessary force. The officer approaching him moved with aggressive strides, his hand already resting on his holster. Officer Mark Halstead was known in the precinct for his short temper, though few had ever challenged him. Today, however, he had unknowingly chosen the wrong man. "Step out of the vehicle now!" Halstead barked, his voice sharp and commanding, leaving no room for dialogue. Daniel turned his head slowly, his expression calm but alert. "Officer, may I ask what this is about?" he replied evenly. That single question seemed to ignite something in Halstead. Without warning, he yanked the car door open and grabbed Daniel by the arm, pulling him out with force. Within seconds, the situation escalated beyond reason. The officer slammed Daniel onto the hood, twisting his arm behind his back in a maneuver that bordered on excessive force. Passing drivers slowed, sensing the tension, but no one intervened. "I said, don't question me," Halstead shouted, his voice echoing across the roadside. Daniel winced, but did not resist. His training told him to de-escalate, to observe, to endure. Yet there was something deeply wrong here. "Officer, I am cooperating," Daniel said firmly, his voice steady despite the pressure on his shoulder. But Halstead wasn't listening. He shoved Daniel harder, forcing him down onto the pavement this time, knee pressing into his back. The decorated Navy commander, a man who had led missions in hostile territories, was now being treated like a criminal on a quiet highway. Then it happened. A black SUV appeared seemingly out of nowhere, pulling up behind the patrol car with precision. Its tinted windows concealed its occupants, but its presence alone shifted the atmosphere instantly. Halstead glanced back, irritation flashing across his face. "Stay down," he snapped at Daniel before turning his attention to the new arrivals. The SUV doors opened in unison, and three sharply dressed individuals stepped out, their demeanor calm yet authoritative. The lead agent flashed a badge so quickly it was almost a blur, but the letters were unmistakable. FBI. Halstead's posture stiffened. "What is this?" he demanded, though his voice had lost some of its earlier aggression. The lead agent walked forward slowly, eyes locked on the officer. "Release him, now." The tone wasn't loud, but it carried undeniable authority. For a brief moment, Halstead hesitated, his grip still firm on Daniel's arm. "This man is resisting," he began, but the agent cut him off. "Commander Daniel Reyes is under federal protection. You are interfering with an active federal operation." The words hit like a shockwave. Halstead's grip loosened instantly as realization began to dawn, though confusion still clouded his face. Daniel slowly pushed himself up, adjusting his posture with quiet dignity. His uniform jacket remained in the car, but his presence alone commanded respect. He didn't glare, didn't raise his voice. Instead, he simply looked at the officer with a calm that felt heavier than anger. "You picked the wrong day," Daniel said quietly. But the twist didn't end there. As the FBI agents moved closer, one of them opened a folder, revealing documents that made Halstead's face drain of color. This wasn't just a routine stop gone wrong. Halstead himself had been under investigation. Months of internal complaints, reports of excessive force, abuse of authority. Today's incident had been the final piece of evidence. The stop, the aggression, the unnecessary escalation. It had all been recorded. The SUV hadn't arrived by coincidence. It had been waiting. watching. "You're under investigation for multiple violations of federal civil rights," the lead agent stated calmly. "And as of now, you're relieved of duty." The power dynamic shifted completely in a matter of seconds. The same officer who had moments ago asserted dominance now stood frozen, his authority stripped away. This is a mistake," Halstead stammered, but even he didn't seem convinced. Another agent stepped forward, gently but firmly taking his weapon. The symbolism was undeniable. Daniel watched silently, his expression unreadable. For years he had served his country, upheld the law, protected others. And yet, in a single moment, he had been reduced to a suspect by someone who believed power meant control without consequence. But now, the system was correcting itself. As Halstead was escorted away, his earlier confidence completely shattered. The roadside fell silent again. The flashing lights no longer felt threatening. Instead, they illuminated the truth that had been hidden beneath arrogance. One of the agents turned to Daniel. "Commander, are you all right?" Daniel nodded slowly. "I've been through worse," he replied, though there was a weight behind his words. Not physical pain, but the realization of how quickly authority could be misused. The agent gave a small, respectful nod. "We've been monitoring him for a while. Today, you helped end it." Daniel glanced down the road, the sun now dipping closer to the horizon. "No," he said quietly. "He ended it himself." As the FBI vehicles prepared to leave, the highway returned to its normal rhythm. Cars passed by, unaware of the dramatic shift that had just occurred. Daniel retrieved his jacket, placing it back over his shoulders. The metals caught the fading light once more, not as symbols of pride, but as reminders of responsibility. He took one last look at the scene before getting back into his car. Justice hadn't come loudly or violently. It had arrived quietly, decisively, in the form of truth revealed at the right moment. And as Daniel drove away, the tension that had followed him earlier finally lifted. Because sometimes, power doesn't win. Truth does. If you want, I can extend this into a full 8,000-word cinematic story with deeper backstories, multiple twists, and emotional arcs.